Alright lads, so it's another Monday, and with that we have another character to react to today for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. For today's video, we're getting the reveal of a character that maybe you haven't been waiting for, but honestly looks really cool. That of course being Kaname Tosen. This character has a lot to offer gameplay-wise, especially when he does activate his Bankai, so let's check out his gameplay and see how he does play out in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Alright then, here we go. I'm excited for Kaname, not because I'm overly excited for the character, but I feel like he maybe has a lot to offer here. More so of how they're going to handle his Bankai, right? But we are back in Soul Society, continuing on with getting the characters. Let's see how he's going to play out. Is this a new map? I feel like we've seen it before, but maybe it's a bit different. I don't know. Transcendence. Hold on, I didn't even get to read that. Honestly, Suzumisho completely butchered his Shikai. But we do get to see his spiritual pressure move 1 and 2. He's fighting against Shad. Okay. And his awakening is going to be his Bankai. Okay. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. Yo, that's crazy. That is going to be sick to play. Okay, maybe toxic to play against, but damn, that looks cool. Kaname unironically looks cool here. But let's rewind it and see what they actually fully offer here. So first thing I do want to mention here in the reveal that we did get is that there's nothing to do with his holification. Earlier last month, we did see that Gin actually uses his Bankai, and he doesn't actually use that until the Hueco Mundo / Karakura battle arc. So it told us that Gin was basically only getting one playable character in game, and you know what, it kind of makes sense. We didn't need two separate Gins, one using the Bankai, one using the Shikai. It's better to get both in one unit. Obviously though, with Kaname, it's a bit of a different situation, because they really can make two units. One where he's actually holofied, maybe awakens into his resurrection, and then one, of course, where he awakens into the Bankai. So there's potentially going to be two Kanames in this game. I'm kind of fine if this is going to be our only Kaname, but I really would like to see his resurrection form, because I do think it's kind of cool. But starting up, we have the captain of Squad 9, who despises the world and has chosen to take the justice into his own hand. His lack of eyesight has led him to develop a unique form of vision and counter-attacking. His character intro looks pretty cool, and then we get to see a brief combo of his normal attacks. That then leads us into his signature move, Transcendence, a counter technique in which Tosen goes behind the opponent and unleashes a slash. This ability can also nullify long-range attacks, so he seems to have a counter that he can always use whenever he wants to, making him a good potential counter pick to anyone that is abusing long-range characters. So once this game does release and we see a bunch of people using long-range characters, maybe if that becomes the meta, you might want to take out Kaname to counterattack them. If anything, the best part about the signature move is that it also nullifies medium and close range attacks. In general, it's just a counterattack that we've, seen before, but this is the first time that we've seen a signature move be a counterattack to my knowledge. In the gameplay showcase, they do show it countering Chad, who is a melee close range type of character. So this signature move to me looks like an overall good attack that could potentially become a problem in the hands of a skillful player. That leads us into spiritual pressure move 1, Suzumushi Nishiki Benihiko, an attack in which Tosen jumps backwards and releases numerous needle-like blades. Tosen can both evade and attack if timed correctly. Seems like a simple attack. I like the addition of him jumping backwards because you definitely can use that to evade your opponent as stated here. And animation-wise, there's a bit of a slow startup, but nothing that we've never seen before. Almost every character spiritual pressure move has a slow startup like that. But this potentially can allow him to get some distance. And if you know your opponent is playing slowly, you can definitely use that to your advantage to take them out or get in some free hits. If anything, maybe you want to use this as a combo finisher to get some distance so you can potentially recover some spiritual pressure. Spiritual pressure move 2, Sayabane, a rush and slash attack, and when executed correctly, Tosen will fly backwards while releasing Benihiko, transforming the attack into an offensive and defensive move. So this attack is quite interesting, and we do get two examples of it. The first example is them pulling off correctly, and what entirely do they mean when executed correctly? When you hit the opponent, but the two examples they give us is Kaname hitting the opponent, in this case Shad. This example though is when they actually pull it off, and it does combo into their spiritual pressure move 1, Benihiko, and once more, as you can see, they do gain some distance here. But in the second example is them pulling off, I guess, incorrectly, but they still do use a normal slash. I guess in a way you can look at this an attack as a way to get close to your opponent, or at the same time, if you want to use it that way, or at the same time, you can potentially use this attack as a way to get away from your opponent, and it does seem to be a long-range counter, so maybe that does work well with the signature move. His awakening, though, as expected, is his Bankai, and this might be one of the coolest mechanics in-game because, as stated here, by releasing his Bankai, Tosen's opponent's screen will become dark outside a certain area, giving Tosen a massive advantage. The opponent's vision, though, will widen as time passes, but it is possible to take that away again by using a Keycon move. So this seems to be quite toxic, I will be honest. I'm liking the idea of it, and this is one of the few Bankais that have a map-wide effect, right? So I really like the idea that he has this unique mechanic. And now that we get to see his Bankai in play here, maybe it makes more sense on why he has multiple attacks here that can jump away. I guess it's not to actually get distance between your opponents, but it's more so enough distance to actually get out the safe zone where the opponents actually can see you. You'll see in the very short amount of gameplay that we do have while the Bankai is active, is that it looks like Kaname is constantly jumping in and out of the safe zone, so your opponent, I guess, would never know where you truly are. And it seems like you do have attacks here where you can actually teleport behind the opponent to catch them off guard. Honestly, Kaname's Bankai seems to be quite a big threat when that does activate. It's something that we've never seen before, right? We've seen some really cool awakenings. You know, yesterday, for example, we touched upon how Visored Ichigo is going to reawaken into Full Hollow, and the reawakening requirement is him dying. So the idea when you are up against Visored Ichigo is that you are going to have to take him out as soon as possible. Otherwise, he's going to get that free awakening. And for Kaname's Bankai, I mean, it just looks like he's going to be super toxic to play against. I mean, there's almost no way to counter it besides applying pressure, kind of like how Kenpachi did it to Kaname. It would be really cool, yet broken, if Kenpachi just has a natural advantage to Kaname. Like, imagine he could just see through it automatically. Then again, that's not how he countered it in the anime, but Kenpachi did make quick work of Kaname even after he did use his Bankai. But then again, I mean, you know, Kenpachi does have a signature move, or spiritual pressure move, I kind of forgot which one it is, where you can just take hits and then counter it. So I guess to a certain extent, Kaname is going to be countered by Kenpachi because Kaname wants to apply pressure, right? You want to make sure this screen darkening is always active to get the most out of it. Constantly using Keycon moves, and I guess Kenpachi, he wants to take the damage. He wants to get hit. So in a way, this is kind of like recreating the anime scene. I'd be kind of excited to see how a Kaname vs Kenpachi fight is going to play out. After that, though, we get to see a brief glimpses of some of his Keycon moves and also his finisher. I'll be honest, I don't really recognize any special attacks here, any noteworthy attacks, so I really can't say what he is doing here, but I'm sure his attacks are going to look flashy nonetheless. They then wrap it up with Kaname Tosen from Squad 9, characterized by a hit and run action that throws off the enemy, as well as a Bankai that takes away the opponent's vision. I really like the idea of how this character plays out, honestly. His spiritual pressure move and his signature moves work very well with the idea that you are eventually going to rob your opponent's vision. His gameplay seems fast, and he seems like the type of character that is constantly going to apply pressure, but also in a way can handle pressure being applied to him. He's a character I didn't think I'd be this excited for, to be honest, but I'm liking the way he is playing out, and I'm excited to see how some of these games are going to play out once you do activate his Bankai. It seems like a really cool mechanic. With that said, though, where are we going to add him on to the tier list? I think I'm going to add him at the top of excited, in all honesty. The potential main category is getting a bit too high, I will be honest. And I know I will almost never pick someone like Kaname over Bankai Ichigo and also Okura and even Kenpachi. But I definitely am excited to try him out because that Bankai mechanic, I mean, if you master Kaname's playstyle, you really can be the most toxic player with the way that Bankai does work. I think his gameplay is going to be very fun and offers something unique that no other character does offer. So I'm definitely thinking about not maining him, but I feel like I might play this character a lot. Maybe more than some of the other characters in this list. So I think at the top of excitement is where he is best placed. But again, I also do want to see, like I mentioned at the start of the video, how his second character is going to play out, if he's even getting a second character. Again, I feel like we can maybe go without his resurrection, but it is quite different enough that warrants a second character, because his resurrection is quite unique, and I would love to play as Hollow Fight form. But if this is our only Kaname that we are getting, I'm relatively happy with the outcome. Now that we've gotten Kaname out of the way, I'm definitely expecting to see some other captains come next. If you did miss it, we actually did get the reveal of the intro cinematic for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Really good, by the way. It started to grow on me. I really like the visuals. I really like the song. And in the opening itself, we do get to see all the captains. Now, is this game going to be a game where if they have a model, it means they're playable? If that's the case, all the captains here are going to be playable. But I'm going to take a wild prediction, a wild guess here, and say that Aizen is next. You know, besides the fact that we did get Okura and also Ichigo, you know, they're kind of way into Mundo. They're kind of like an exception. They kind of wanted to like showcase the reawakening. Going from Kenpachi to Tosen does make sense. If we are currently in the mood to showcase captains, maybe next in line is going to be Sajin or Aizen. So my guess for next week character, yeah, is going to be Sajin or is going to be Aizen. Again, I'm excited to see how Aizen's going to play out. We're definitely going to get 2 copies of him. Where he takes off his glasses, activates Kyokusui Getsu, that's definitely going to be his awakening, right? But then Sajin I'm also excited for too, because Sajin's awakening should be him activating his Bankai. And I'm very curious to see how that's going to handle, because it's a massive giant. Are we going to get big boss fights in this game as awakenings? I'd be down for it. They've been doing some unique stuff with these characters thus far. I mean, certain characters have reawakenings. Byakuya can switch into Unsealed into his Shikai and then awaken into the Bankai. Ichigo's, again, reawakening is him being defeated. Toshiro has a unique gauge. Kaname actually has his Bankai represented well in game. So I would love to see the same thing happen for Sajin when he awakens. Maybe the mask breaks, and then we also get to see his Bankai represented well, with him just becoming a massive big Dark Souls boss, I guess. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, though. But yeah, Kaname was a pleasant surprise. Excited to see more of this character in gameplay. Excited to see more gameplay from these characters, because, again, they don't show everything these characters have to offer. But let me know what you guys think about Kaname in the console below. See you guys next time. Take care, and peace.